FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
Welcome, and you are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz, and it's time for another Triple Lutz Report. This is episode 388. That's how many we've done since we started this thing about 3.5 years ago, and the response that I've gotten on these commentaries just blows me away. Tens of thousands of you have listened to them. Hopefully you find them valuable. I know I enjoy doing them, and as long as I enjoy doing them, I guess I'm okay. But anyways, this show is brought to you by 2 sponsors. One is Jason Hartman of jasonhartman.com, and he's having an event coming up on November 14th and 15th of this year in Orlando, Florida, my adopted home state. And basically, if you enter now, you just go over to jasonhartman.com/Lutz, L-U-T-Z. Enter now. You can win a free pass to the Orlando property tour with Jason and me and I. And basically, he's teaching a lot there. Building your turnkey property portfolio, discovering the power of boots on the ground education, hearing from a couple of industry leaders as they reveal their step-by-step investing strategies with you, learn why investors all over the world are flocking to Orlando and all of Florida for that matter to get into this property investment game here. It's amazing. The prices, property prices, historically very low here. Interest rates are low. Tenant rents are high and going higher. So I urge you, go over to Jason, Jason, Hartman, Hathartman. That's jasonhartman.com/Lutz, L-U-T-Z. jasonhartman.com/Lutz. I'll be emceeing the event. I can't wait. Jason is so brilliant. I mean, he's been doing this for decades already. He's helped thousands of you out there achieve financial security with passive income from portfolios of single-family homes. The key is buy them right, buy them at the right price, manage them properly. You do that, real estate is the way to go. And we have a new partner, libertyhealthshare.org, libertyhealthshare.org, spelled just the way it sounds. And let me tell you, I signed up for this, I think it was back in August or maybe July. So every month I save $950 off of my old health insurance premiums. It's health cost sharing and basically cost me for their best service, single coverage, $199 per month. And so far, I've been extremely pleased. Before I signed up, I said, this sounded too good to be true. I got to check this out more. I checked with Dr. Elena George. I checked with a prominent physician in Palm Beach County, Florida, who were both members of libertyhealthshare.org. Both of them had rave reviews. Now, understand, it hasn't been around that long, but Dale Bellis, who I just interviewed today, you should listen to that interview, has been doing health cost sharing since 1988. His reputation, impeccable, no complaints, check BBB. I've been completely pleased with it so far. Probably have to have a procedure done in a month or two. Nothing serious, just something with my eyes. My eyelids are drooping because I'm getting old and my face is getting flabby, I guess. And it's not going to be any problem. I'm just going to call them up. They'll make the deal with the doctor. They'll make the deal with the surgical facility if that's required. And boom, you're done. Amazing company, amazing concept, incredible people there. Can't say enough good things about them. But hey, let's get on with the news and what's going on, because, you know, FSN is all about what's next. So I've had trolls for years telling me what a horrible person I am. I'm telling you to buy gold and silver and blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm wrong. It's going down to 500. It's going to 300. And I don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm the first to admit, when it comes to investment advice, don't take it from me. I like precious metals because I don't trust the government. I don't trust them to manage this economy. Every day, the news is worse than the day before. And right now, gold, the date here is October 12th, 2015. I'm talking to you at about 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the price of gold is right around 1163.60. Price of silver up, it's up about 2 cents, 15.84 the ounce. They were up higher during the day. You can speculate on why they're down. I don't do things like that, but I'm sure there are reasons. It was up at $12 and change. Probably my guess is it's going to finish higher than this today, but the trend has been going up recently. Silver, they're doing their best to keep it down. It's right at its 200-day moving average, and the trend is the trend. So are gold and silver still in a downtrend? Potentially, yes, but they've been behaving much differently, much better, and I defy any of you naysayers to come on the show and explain why it's not so, why gold and silver are going down. If you're just going to send me emails and be a troll, I'm not even going to read your emails because I'm not buying it. And hey, enough of gold and silver. You know my views on it. I don't believe you buy anything just at any price because it's always a good investment, because that's just not the case. But there are reasons why these are favorable at the present time. You just have to look around at what's going on in the world and you know it. I mean, that's just the way it is here. So it's just so much fun to watch, though, what's going on. Anyways, so where are we now? Well, you look at the banks, they all seem to be having issues. The Federal Reserve, there was a chart in Zero Hedge a couple of days. They had to take in somewhere around $450 billion worth of collateral, reverse repurchase agreements, as they call it. A repo is what got Corzine into trouble. So a repo agreement, there's a bunch of different types for different securities, but basically it's the sale of securities together with an agreement for the seller to buy back the securities at a later date, and the repurchase price is greater than the original sale price. So what happens is, with a reverse repo, you're actually buying the securities back with an agreement to sell them back to the seller at a date in the future. And that's what the Fed's been doing. And the purpose of this is to liquefy the system. $450 billion of them, $50 billion worth of it, there's a settlement date. The collateral for this agreement has to be rated AAA, which means it's treasury bonds. You can think what you want about it, or not necessarily AAA, but whatever government bonds are acceptable for collateral. And so these reverse repos have been going on, which means the government is basically taking them back. The banks are selling them to the government, to, I should say, the Federal Reserve pumping liquidity into the system. Why is that happening is the question. Interesting thing. I don't know the answer, but it ain't good. And look, China, you continue to see that thing decline there. It's really going badly. They've been having all these wild industrial fires there too. There's been half a dozen of them in the past month. And that's what I want to know. What is going on there? So not good things happening in China, and the whole meme underlying all of the markets, why they've been going up, why they continue to go up, is because China their demand's insatiable. But what happened is that we're finding out that China is subject to the business cycle just like everyone else, and there's nothing that they can do to stop it. And so gas savings, what are Americans doing with their gas savings? Because look, in Florida, I paid $2.20 something a gallon for gas recently. You can get it even cheaper if you're in Texas. I think it's under $2. In Gallup, at the end of this summer, 35% of Americans said they were spending more on gasoline, which is up from 21% earlier this spring, but still nowhere near the levels measured from last summer. So people are driving more, in other words, but they're still primarily spending on more things they need, not on the things they want, which means that demand for discretionary purchases such as leisure activities, clothing, consumer electronics, dining out, and travel going down. But how long this goes on, I don't know. I don't necessarily believe Gallup's poll that much. I think it's a very regional thing. I don't think there's one U.S. economy. I think there are multiple U.S. economies. In New York over the weekend, restaurants packed. Okay. Now, granted, New York, not the best example, but the metropolitan area, highly dependent on Wall Street, is basically thriving. It's doing well construction-wise, all sorts of things. There's money pouring in there from all over the planet, even China, even Russia. Down here in Florida, same thing. This economy here is booming. And that's not to say there aren't poor people. There's more than you would ever believe. But the fact is that we have many economies, just like we have many real estate markets. You want to judge the stability of a local economy, check the real estate market. It's going to have a lot to do with it. So Ben Carson, you got to love non-professionals because they know how to upset the media. He openly questioned fiat money. And, he said that the only reason that we can sustain the kind of debt is because our artificial ability to print money to create what we think is wealth, but it is not wealth because it's based upon our faith and credit. And, this type of thing, he referred to the gold standard that was in effect from 33 to 71, and they just dismiss him. But the guy happens to know what he's talking about. If it wasn't so easy to print money, we wouldn't be in the jam that we're in because we'd actually have to make important decisions that none of your political leaders care to make. It just is the fact. And look, it's the debt, sure. But what facilitates taking on all the debt is the ability to print the money. And the Chinese, they're looking closely at banning high frequency trading. And like China's securities are like they have like no regulation. It's like the United States was in the 1920s before the Great Depression. And this is just astounding what's going on there. I mean, normally American companies set up subsidiaries and islands and stuff like that to do illegal stuff that they can't pull off here in the U.S. But in China, anything goes. But we will see what happens here. And it's really getting interesting because Chinese are not above regulating companies out of business. And high frequency trading, if it's profitable here in the US, can you imagine in unregulated markets how profitable it could be? Forget it. It's just amazing. Glenmore is still reeling. We don't know what's going to be with it, but it's in trouble. They cut back on production of various things, zinc, and that drove prices up. So Bix Weir mentioned they were able to cash in on that. But Glencore, Humpty Dumpty in action here. And it's not over yet. It's going to keep happening. And bad things out there. Oil back down at $49, just under 40. It's quite a world out there. And look, there's an article in Zero Hedge, why gold is surging, and Bank of America says to expect a massive policy shift in 2016. Basically, it's happening here. It will happen. I don't know when. This is the big question, but the trend sure is looking much better now. When you look at it, when you look at the charts just much stronger. I like the charts here. We'll see if they can crush it. I wouldn't put anything past them, but the chart is looking really good. And I'm not telling you go out and buy gold. Certainly, if you had money to do it, I would tell you not to go out and buy it all at once. But if you want advice, go over to milesfranklin.com, call them up. Andy Scheckman, good friend. Same with Andy Hoffman. And hey, it goes down to 500. If it goes down to 500, that's because we had a major currency collapse and gold purchasing power will still increase. And that's what Bob Hoy says. So trolls be damned. It's been another Triple Lutz report. Kerry Lutz signing off. Don't forget libertyhealthshare.org, jasonhartman.com/Lutz.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.